Hello, my name is Alexander. Here you see the default Flutter project. Android and iOS folders contain platform-specific files, lib folder holds the source code, and there is one more special folder which we are going to talk about in this video. Most of the Flutter projects I see have the same default file in it. The content of this file is usually commented, because as the project evolves and you change the app, it stops compiling. Some brave developers just remove this file at all. And that is very unfortunate. I cannot say how important tests are, especially for large, long-term projects. Flutter supports three types of testing: unit, widget, and integration. Unit tests prove that your code works. Integration that your app works. And it's not the same if you think about it. The code logic might not fulfill the business cases, and business cases might not cover all the implementation edge cases. Widget tests are in the middle. They are fast, close enough to your codebase, hence it's possible to cover edge cases, and they are focused on business needs. The default test sample is a widget test, so why it is ignored in most of the Flutter projects? This might be because it still requires a skill to develop. There are best practices for test structure, code sharing, test first and test last approaches, and so on. You need to learn a lot before you start testing effectively. Wouldn't it be great if you could write tests in a natural language? Let's imagine how it could be. I will create a counter.feature file here. We will call our app features as feature. Our app has the only one feature, and it is counter. Features will contain testing scenarios. And each scenario will consist of one or more steps. What's next? Let's add a BDD widget test package in the dependencies of the pubspec file. The latest version is 0.1.3 plus 1. This plugin relies on code generation provided by build value, hence we need to add build runner. You may already use it in your project for freest, injectable, or tons of other plugins. To run the code generation, we will use the following command. This is it. Now we have widget test generated from the feature file. Let me describe what's going on here. Sorry to disappoint you, but we didn't invent the language for tests. Our feature file is written in Gherkin. That's the industry standard for BDD, behavior-driven development approach for testing. The plugin we used parses feature files and generates test files, which Flutter understands. As you may see, it looks like a test you would write. Our feature name became group name, scenario name became test name, and our steps are here in separate files. The test file will be updated with each feature file update, but steps will not be overwritten. The plugin is smart enough to generate common steps, but it's our responsibility to code custom steps. You may run tests just from the IDE or from the command line. I will just click Run here. Good, let's write one more test. Right after I save the feature file, the corresponding Dart file updates and new step appear. Let's go further and use the test first technique. I will write a test before the implementation. Let's say that when the user taps on the add button 3 times, it's not the counter value he would see, but for example, BDD rules text. Let's run our tests. Now one test is failing with the following error. It's time to code. Now when we run tests, everything works as it should. In the next video, I'll show you how to work with this library in a more complex project, so stay tuned. I'll put links to the plugin documentation and useful IDE plugins in the description. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.